Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is your boy, Big Bach, Everything DMV Radio. We are back with the business voice here on Everything DMV Radio. We are going to be talking to a gentleman today who has your furry loved ones in mind. And he's going to be sharing with us some of the best ways to treat them, some of the best ways to feed them. Right here on Everything DMV Radio. As y'all can see, I'm still in the holiday spirit for everybody. If you have a business that you're trying to promote, that you'd like to share with Everything DMV Radio community, please send your information in and we'll be happy to share you along our platforms. We do live stream to YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, which is connected to Twitter, Twitch, and IG. So again, we thank you for tuning in today. And with no further ado, I'm going to introduce you to your pet's consultant, Stephon Henderson.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great morning. I'm super great, sir. Great morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for us to have you here. And just for those people who are not aware of who you are and what you do, can you just tell them who you are?
Absolutely. So I'm a lifelong learner, but more than that, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur in a space that I'm super excited about because I've had pets all my life. I raised my children around pets. I grew up around pets. And so one of the things, it was just a natural thing for me to get into the pet business, which for most people don't understand, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but within that industry, there are some things that, are, if you're a pet parent, right? And I say pet parent because you have to treat these, your pets, whether they have fur, scales, skin, or whatever, like their children, because they totally depend on you. But what has been going on so long is that we have moved away from our responsibility and our power as pet parents and giving it over to the organized pet food industry as well as veterinarians. And so we found this gap that we needed to do is to educate pet parents on how they can take a more proactive role in the care of their pets, a more proactive role. And so we started this company as a passion project. My business partner, who is a multi-millionaire restaurateur in the Washington, D.C. area. If you're from the Washington, D.C. area, you've heard of this restaurant called the Carolina Kitchen. Okay. Absolutely. And so, see, I know you know. And so that's my business partner, Dr. Lance London. And it was through an experience that he had with his dog of 17 years, had suffered a stroke. And they took him to the veterinarian. They immediately wanted to put him down. They immediately wanted to euthanize him, and he just couldn't do it because that was his son. Yeah. He has no human children. He's not married. So for 17 years, he had this dog named Rocky. Okay. And to be told that he had to put him down, basically, it's like saying to you, we got to put your son down. We got to take him off the ventilator, if that makes sense. And so He couldn't bring himself emotionally to do it. He set out and said, I'm gonna save this dog's life. And they said, you know what? Hey, we can't stop you. We just want you to understand that he's not going to have any quality of life. And so they charged him, I think $1,200 just to give them that news. $1,200 just to say we need to put your dog down, right? And so he said, I know I can afford it, but what about the individuals who can't afford, this kind of thing? And the nurse laughed. She laughed. She said, you'd be surprised what pet parents would do for their pets, because people simply love their pets. And most of them who are true pet parents actually love them more than they do probably human family members, if that makes sense, right?
Wow.
So, that's stuck in his head because, first of all, he is an entrepreneur. He's been an entrepreneur since he was 15. And so, but that's, his thing was to save the dog's life. Long story short, he did research. He found out about the proper way to feed an animal, especially a dog, which is the balanced raw food diet. But the thing about that is that most pet parents don't really truly know what that is. And then it can get pretty expensive and cumbersome. And then he thought about and he found out some other things about supplements. We as humans, we take our Flintstone vitamin. I'm sure this morning you woke up, you took your Flintstones, right? Or you took your Mega Men, right?
Yes,
absolutely. Sir. Absolutely. So the supplementation, because we know the food that we eat is already been overcropped. It doesn't, I don't care if it says it's organic. Organic only means that it doesn't have any, pesticides on it. It doesn't mean that the anything different, because the soil that we get our food from has been overcropped, is mineral deficient. And so we have to supplement from a human standpoint. And so the same thing with our pets. And so, we started this thing, and then long story short, that he began to change Rocky's diet, began to supplement. Rocky lived an additional 2 years. An additional 2 years after they had told him that he would not have any quality of life and that it was best to be able to euthanize him at 17. He finally suffered a second stroke at 19. And at that point, it would just been too inhumane not to go ahead and take him out of his misery. But that was the lesson. And he says, what? If I didn't know this, what about all the other pet parents that don't know this? So we set out, to begin to put up a company that would educate pet parents on how to do this, how to take a more proactive role, how to provide optimal nutrition, and how to do what? Take power out of their hands. Veterinarians have they have their position. They have, a place, just like medical doctors do. But we know that if we take care of ourselves and our bodies, we can prolong some issues. The same thing with our pets. And so we set out to do that. We set up this company. It's housed in the DMV. Everything we did, some branding, you see the few of our products over here, all the branding, everything we did, the proprietary blends on our nutraceuticals, which are basically vitamins, we did ourselves. And we spent 4 years of research. We recently launched nationally on September the 1st of this year. So you can see how I'm super excited on helping to educate pet parents.
Wow. So what is the best food to feed your pet?
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not only a certified, pet consultant with this company, a founder of this company, an executive of this company, but I went out and for my own edification and went out and got some other certifications. And one of them is a certified pet food nutritionist. So I can tell you this. If any pet parents that are on here, and we're going to deal with dogs right now, that are going into PetSmart, going into Walmart and buying a dry kibble, you're not really feeding your dog a nutritious, a nutritional diet, right? What you're basically doing is you're pretty much doing the opposite. Are you killing them right away? No, but it's like a slow burn. It is like a slow euthanasia. So the most optimal diet, and I am also raw food certified, is what we call the primordial raw food. When I say primordial, I mean that what they would eat in the wild. I want to do this if I can. There's only a 0.02% difference in the DNA of a wolf, which is an ancestor of a dog, and an actual dog. No matter what the breed is. See, there's a thing. The breed is what we call a phenotype. And then look at it, it's a big word, but think about this. You have your Christmas gear on, right? Yes. So you have your Christmas gear on, but underneath you're still who you are. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You just have different clothes. And so tomorrow, maybe later on the day, you're going to change clothes, but it'll still be you, essentially. Make sense?
Yeah.
So absolutely. What we have wolves in different clothes. So you have a wolf that shows up as a Rottweiler. You have a wolf that shows up as a Pekingese or whatever. But basically, as far as their physiology is concerned, they're still a wolf. And so everything that's in their system, to be able to process raw food, from a primordial standpoint, like deer, pheasants, or anything they might eat in the wild, that system is still in that dog. Okay. So that would be the optimal. But if you can't do that, then you would go to the store, the butcher shop, and then you get them a basic raw food, right? Which is, you go get cuts of meat, things like that, right? So the difference is between the two is what they would get in the wild is going to have more nutrition than what you would go to the store. Why? Because we know domestic animals are still eating from the mineral deficient earth that we get in our food from, like everything else. So it's mineral deficient. So everything that would be in that beef, because we are what we eat, is not going to be there like it would be out in the wild. Okay. So, primordial diet was what they would eat in the wild, a basic, balanced raw food, which we get from butcher shops or going to the store. But if you can't do that, because you can get very, very expensive, then what you would want to do is the best dry food that you can, okay, which is going to have the highest concentration of meat protein in it, and then you supplement with minerals and and other vitamins that they would not get in a regular dry food. That makes sense?
Yes, sir. That makes sense. Yes, sir. Now, I read online that, sometimes the byproducts of, the food that we get for, our dogs and can contain like, hair, hooves, and floor sweepings. Is that true?
Yeah. So what happens is you see meat byproducts and things like that. So the byproducts, let me tell you. So this is what a lot of times the meat content comes from. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. So the meat content a lot of times comes from what we call from butcher shops. It could be scraps. It could be even roadkill.
Wow.
Okay. It could be roadkill. It could be a lot of different things when it comes to that meat content, right? So they take that meat and they put it through what they call an extrusion process, which they take that meat and they take it to a real high temperature, okay, to create a mush that they can begin to formulate into a dry food. The reason why they did that, so before World War II, you could get a lot of canned food, which would have meat in it, which would still come from maybe dead horses, could still be other dead dogs, still be that process, but it would still be meat, okay? But, during the war, there was an embargo on metals, especially tins. So they could not, no longer use tin cans to package food. So they had to figure out how to put this food into a bag. Okay. So imagine trying to put a wet food into a bag, right? That just wouldn't work. So they created a process of extrusion to begin to cook all the moisture out of that meat, which is basically taking all the great, nutritional benefits out of the meat to create a dry dog food. And now their profit margins went up. And so rather than after the embargo, go back to putting in tins, they just kept doing it, begin to put chemicals and colorings in it to appeal to humans' eyes, because it didn't matter what the pet, it didn't matter to them what, that this food was colored. It didn't matter. And so they begin to create propaganda to come up with food. They just start saying, balance and this and that, whatever. But it still was it was still a mineral deficient food, because they cooked out all the proteins and everything that was in that meat and put it into a dry form.
Wow. So they just ditched the old process and kept going with the new one to keep the money flowing.
Yes, sir.
No love for the pets. I understand, man.
Yes, sir.
So pet parent moving forward, they want to make sure that they're providing the best. Tell us about these products and how they will provide the best for our loved ones.
Sure. So we have 5 different we call nutraceuticals. I'm going to pull out a couple of things, right? So one of the most common issues in a dog, because we bred them not for their own benefit, we bred them for our own benefit. So actually, each breed is a deformed dog, is a deformed wolf. Make sense? So they created breed standards for bulldogs, breed standards for poodles. So they create these breed standards you see in the dog show. But basically what you've done is you've deformed a wolf to create these breeds. So a lot of times one of the most common ailments is hip dysplasia. elbow dysplasia. So any dog, approaching the age of 6 or 7 they begin to slow down because they lose glucosamine. So it's the same thing in humans. When we get old, we begin to lose so much glucosamine that we come up with these ailments like arthritis and rheumatism. So the thing with the pet, you want to replace that glucosamine, okay? And not only that, there's other benefits that you want to do what? Be able to lubricate their limbs, be able to create stronger bones. So there's a product, MSM. And so the thing is, you can go in any store, whatever, and get a hip and joint supplement. But the thing with ours is that it doesn't come in the form of a pill. It comes in the form of a treat, but we have an extra, ingredient, which is called perna canalicularis. I know it's a big word, but basically it is a green lip mussel that's found off the shores of New Zealand. So if you do your research, everything we do, we do up front. We don't have any hidden agenda. So you go and research perna canalicularis or green lip mussel, and you'll find that the natives in New Zealand have been eating that green lip mussel for centuries. And so they get old, they get into, their 90s, 80s, 100s, but what happens on a rare occasion if they get arthritic issues, because that shellfish, it has 100 times more potency than regular fish oil, which is something we should have in our diet. So we have that in our product. And the reason why we can include that in our product is you will never see us advertised. Here's the big thing about advertisement. Every time you see that 30-second slot, somebody's paid millions of dollars before that. If you see it during the Super Bowl, they really, really spend a lot of money. So they got to do what? In order to have great margins, they have to make sacrifices. So we don't have to make those sacrifices because we use word of mouth advertising. We use platforms like you provide. So we always can put a great product on the shelf. Not only that, we have a multivitamin that every dog, no matter the breed, no matter the age, should have. Why? Because it has minerals that support major functions: eye, brain, kidneys, and liver. Why is that important? Because the kidneys and liver are the functions that helps to do what? Purify blood, take toxins out of your system. So when you go to the vet, they're going to do what? Take a blood sample. Why? They want to see how those systems are functioning. If you support them, right, and always keep them strengthened, which we do with our multivitamin, then that helps to do what? Lengthen the time that you would have a issue that the vet would have to come in, on a reactionary standpoint. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. That's amazing, man. That's amazing, man.
Yes, sir.
How often would you have to give the dog this treat?
All right. So the multivitamin is going to be a daily. Like we talked about earlier, your daily Flintstone, your daily Mega Man, your daily Mega Woman. So you want to do it on a daily basis because that helps to get it in the system. Because anything you start today is going to probably take 30 to 60 days to really get into your system. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right. And so you want to do that on a daily basis. So that'll be a daily routine. Now, this right here would only become daily if you're already experiencing that situation where they've already began, to show symptoms, or it's a breed of dog that's prone to those conditions, like your bullies, your American bulldogs, your English bulldogs, your pit bulls, any kind of Staffordshire breeds or whatever you want, or German shepherds. You want to make sure that you get that in their system to do what? Be preventative. That's what we're teaching people to do. Be preventative, be proactive rather than reactive. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So this would be some of that. Then we have a skin and coat, which has all the essential omegas, omega 369s. We talk about those things that are super important. Why? Because the biggest organ on any creature is what? Skin. That's the biggest organ. So with dogs, not only is they're covered with skin, but they're also covered with what? Fur. So you need those essential omegas in the system to make sure you're promoting healthy skin and healthy coat. So we have that in this product, and you have, I would say if you have a breed that's prone to skin allergies and things like that, you want to have them on a daily basis. But this is also when an issue shows up that you can begin to put it into their system. Okay, makes sense.
Yes,
So
sir.
there's certain things you want to do on a daily basis, like our oral hygiene system, right? We don't think about that. We brush our teeth, every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, depending upon what your regimen is. But we don't think about that for our pets. But there are certain breeds that have a tendency to build up anaerobic bacteria in their mouth. Why? Because of the structure of their mouth. So your small breeds like Pekingese, Chihuahuas, especially Yorkies, because Yorkies have a tendency to create a second row of teeth. Anybody who got Yorkies, you know that their breath is horrendous. Okay, so we have a two-pronged approach to our oral care system. Which we have a chew. Again, everything is built from natural ingredients. So our chew is built with mushroom extract, cinnamon powder, but more essential is a thing called spirulina, right? Spirulina is a superfood that a lot of people put into smoothies and things like that. So it comes crunchy. That helps break down the tartar on their teeth, okay? But it also helps to promote clean breath from the inside. And then we have a water additive, which is like a mouthwash that you add to the water, and it helps to do, and it's basically peppermint. It's peppermint oil based, but it's diluted, so we don't get the full effect of a peppermint essential oil, but you have enough of it to help to promote clean breath and also to help to wash away the tartar. So that's a daily regimen as well. Why? You brush your teeth every day. We want your pet should brush their teeth every day as well.
Absolutely, man. It seems like y'all have all the bases covered for
right.
people.
So this would be the chew for the large dogs, right? This would be the chew for the large dog, right? And this would be the chews for the smaller dogs. Medium, large, small.
Wow, got it all covered, man. Looks like you guys really put some time into this and showed really good care and did the research to actually give these loved ones what they need, man. So for for a pet owner who knows that this is important for their pet, I mean, without a doubt, we can see that it is. How would they get this into their homes and these good products into their furry one's life?
So what you would do is you would have to contact what we call a pet consultant. Like myself and all of my business partners, we're pet consultants as well as executives of the company. But along with this, one of the things that we also realize as entrepreneurs that look, not only are we saving pet lives, but if nothing has been more in your face in 2020, with so many people losing their jobs, so many people, who are in positions now that they've never been in before because we're in a deep recession. One of the other things that we need is what? We need to be able to generate income, okay? So we wanted to do this a two-pronged approach, give ordinary people or people that are already in the pet industry a way to create a second stream of income. But we wanted to also empower ordinary people to create not only income, but the best income, which is residual income rather than linear income. So linear income means I trade my time for the check, or my trade my time for the money. So if my time, when my time goes, what happens? The income goes, right? Because that's active income. So if we teach you our way to create a passive stream of income through our system. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Through our system, creating residual income, that means that you do something one time, like somebody creates a song. So even though Michael Jackson is passed away, he's dead, his family still gets what? Residual income from the stuff that he did years ago. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Right. So you would get in touch with a pet consultant like myself, right? They go through my website. Okay, through my website, you'll be connected with me as your pet consultant. And this is why this is important. When you go to PetSmart and you put all your products in the cart, you go through the line, you go to the cash register, they ring it up, you give them your money so you can take the products. What happens? That's the end of the relationship until you go back in there the next time. Or they might send you a survey. But that's it. So we wanted the relationship to be strong. So that's why we developed the concept of pet consulting. So if you're not just my customer, but I'm your pet consultant in your life, their pet life for their lifetime. So why? When we come up with new products, when we discover new things, new issues, we're there to let you know that here's a new issue we need to get in front of. We have a new product, but we want to check with you, from time to time to find out, what is going on in the life of Fluffy, what's going on in the life of who? Of Rocky, of Rover, whomever. But why? That's why we want to be the pet consultant. We want to be a part of their care team. Okay. So you have that aspect, but you could also always go set up your customer account, okay, and get our products into the system, into the life of your pet.
Absolutely. So there it is, everybody, right there. A way not only to build a stream of income, a residual stream of income, and also help out those loved ones and provide good support with natural products here locally in the DMV. We're going to need that website, and we're definitely got something that we can really help, because this really sits in with me, because my aunt, she had a poodle that, same thing, been around with her for years, 15, 16 years. And when this time came, it was really hard for her to part. So I know by, having a product like this that will provide the support that is needed for our loved ones, our dogs, will definitely, change a lot of lives and keep people a lot happier, a lot longer with them being in their life. So we thank you for the work that you've done. We thank you for your team. And we definitely want to make sure that we get this out and get this where it needs to be.
Absolutely. So I put my website, in the private chat to you. Basically yourpetconsultant.novetica.com. But I want people to understand in the DMV, everything that we do, you can come and visit our office and our distribution center, which is off of Forbes Boulevard in Atlanta, Maryland. You'll see that we're real. We do everything. We did 4.5 years of research. We're still doing research, to make sure that we're on the cutting edge of what's going on in the pet industry. And we have our office, our corporate headquarters, in Atlanta, Maryland. Okay, it's right off of Forbes Boulevard. And you can see, what it is that we're doing. We have a distribution center there as well. So everything ships out of our distribution center. So if anybody's interested in becoming a pet consultant, you do it just like you would do if you were a part of Amazon. We drop ship for you, so you don't have to hold any products.
That's amazing, man. Wow. Y'all got all the bases covered, man. It seems like this is nothing to get into and to help out somebody ones, and also having the climate that we're in to be able to build income for yourself while you're doing that, man. Amazing. Great.
Yep. And you also have we've been connected through LinkedIn for a long time.
Yes, sir.
And so you have my email address. They can, if you have any people that are part of your audience that want to connect with me, that you can give them my email address. Absolutely. We can connect. We can go further, but you have my website as well.
Awesome. Hey, we did that again, man. I want to thank you again so much for stopping by today. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we go?
Well, I just want to say, really, happy holidays to everybody. And I know this has been just a crazy year. But the thing is, don't give up hope. Never do that. And the thing is, always stay positive. Have a great attitude, no matter what. Attitude and the right posture. Well, I'm telling you, will break down walls. And you can be, look, it doesn't matter what other people think. It only matters what you think. Okay. If you maintain a positive attitude, if you maintain hope, and you step out on faith, that whatever it is that you want in life, you can achieve.
Absolutely. And you heard it right here from Mrs. Stephon Henderson. We are here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we'll have more content, more great information out here in the DMV for you very soon. Thanks so much. Take care, Mr. Henderson.
My pleasure. Anytime, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And there it is, y'all. Once again, it's your boy Bach, Everything DMV Radio, man. We are supporting our local businesses. We're supporting our local animals. We're out here to make a difference in the DMV, and we hope that you are a part of that. So feel free to send in any information to me, Bach at EverythingDMVRadio.com. And we are excited, ecstatic to help bring great information, great talents, and just build a great community. This is what we're here for. You were listening to The Business Voice on Everything DMV Radio, supporting our local brands.